no question asked. Most people are saving almost $4,000 off of the MSRP. And they're not spending all day at a car lot. They're walking in, pointing to a car and showing them the certificate. It's that simple. And it's free. Go have some fun with it. Go get the TrueCar app right now. Go have some fun with it. Eventually, you're going to be looking for a new car. Why not save thousands of dollars and thank old jail for it? All right, we're back. Jim, thank you for sticking around, man. You know, when we left off there, we were talking about the different pay structures over time. I'll tell you a personal story. My uncle was in the NBA. He won 2 championships, and he won an Olympic gold medal in Tokyo for the country in 1964. And he's never missed a day of work. He's now 71 years old. He's never missed a day because it was different back then. You know, he was top of the scale. He was a real blue chipper coming out. He's still got records that hold for the Pac-10 for Oregon State University where he played. But he peaked out at $60,000 a year. It was just simply a different time.
Yeah, and those guys, they can either resent it and hate it, or just be grateful for the heritage they're part of. I would probably resent it and hate it. But, you know, I know I would be bitter and annoyed. But they're better people if they don't resent it and hate it, because you just didn't want to be a bitter and it's not to give you guys. Like you said before, they're not going to go back to the country and check. It doesn't work.
No, it just doesn't. You know, and Vince McMahon has tried to correct this a lot, because a lot of those wrestlers come into it. Some of them start at 16, 17 years old. Not a lot of guys in the WWE that ever went to college or ever really got to grow up, because they went right on the road at 18 to 19. They got their education from other wrestlers, and it doesn't end well for a lot of those guys. They make a bunch of money. There's a whole big jackpot there, but they spend it. You know, and it's not what you made, it's what you kept that matters. And, you know, Vince is in a real jam right now because he genuinely cares about these guys, but he's also a publicly traded company. He can't go around writing checks anymore. That's the one difference. A lot of people think that Dana White's this greedy guy, and it's like, well, people don't understand that if Dana was the president of a publicly traded company, he would be not only fired, he would be put in handcuffs and put in jail because of how much money he gives away. He can't absolutely give, outside of guys' contracts, as much money away as he does on a daily basis when it's shareholders' money. He can't do it, and he never is given credit. People are only mad at him. And I scratch my head and go, man, you guys don't seem to understand how a public company works and all the restraints they're under. You know, the UFC is the most generous thing out there when you compare it to somebody else.
And you know, it's funny, the way Dana runs the company, and he's the face of the company, he's like, he'll call fighters out, or he'll say things that he doesn't like. People feel like he's speaking very honestly when he speaks publicly, and that just kind of makes the company look like something that you want to support, that you want to watch. And I also think that's why a lot of the fighters are great guys too, because from the head on down, everyone is fan friendly. Everyone speaks to the fans. I was staying with you for the fights, and I always see when he comes out, or other fighters that are in that section, always taking pictures with people, never saying no. And it's like, you know, look where it's gone in the last 10 years. I think that's a big part of it.
It is a big part of it. Yeah, Dana's a real believer in that. Is actually reaching out and talking to the fans. He does it himself. He uses Twitter to do it. But, yeah, he's a believer, and that's a risky move. You know, in the NBA or the NFL, they have just the opposite meetings that we have. We have even financial incentives for gaining Twitter followers and being out and being active with society. It's just the opposite in a lot of those other sports leagues, because you never know what the guys are going to say, and it's best to just keep them the hell off of there.
Yeah, and I think that there's such money at stake in the NFL. Like, the UFC is so, it's a huge organization. Then you look at what, like, they're making in the NFL, the money is just, it's so sickening, and it's so ingrained in American culture that I think they're just afraid of these guys are going to say something stupid and bring the whole organization down. Yeah, this CTE thing is how to be killing them.
Yeah, so speaking of that, Jim, did you see just today, so I think it came out last night because it was news at 6 a.m. this morning when I turned my TV on, but
you can do that?
Vice President of the NFL has come out and admitted that there was a relationship to the head trauma,
wow.
You know, versus the contact in football. And everybody's acting like this is a big coup, and I'm scratching my head going, did you need that guy to it? Did you need an admittance? Like, well, yeah, did anybody tell you this is good? People do that with fighting and boxing and stuff, too. It's like, wait, did anybody tell you this was good for you to get punched in the head? Isn't that just kind of an obvious risk that you take on?
Yeah, and I don't know why we need him to say it. It's almost like having a tobacco company executive finally say, we think there may be a health risk. We're not being forced to put on the package. It's like, it's too late. All of us know it. That means that you knew it before and just chose not to share it. So now that we're saying we all know it, we don't even need you to not to say you know it.
Yeah, I fully agree. Yeah, I mean, this made headlines, and it wasn't headlines that, the CTE versus the trauma endured was the relation. The headline was that they've admitted it. And it's like, well, first off, just because that guy says it's so doesn't make it so. But in this particular case, even if this guy says it's not so, we all know it's so. Of course you can't go around having mini car wrecks all day, which is what a collision in football is. Of course you can't go around doing that and then it's all moonlight and canoes for the rest of your life. Of course there's a trade-off.
Well, what do you think is going to happen? Because to me, what's going to eventually, if they can start proving that high school students are being injured, even though CTE doesn't show up that young, schools are going to start changing high school football rules. Like in certain Ivy League colleges now, they're banning tackling from practice, and they're only allowed to tackle dummies. Like that's what they're talking about doing in the Ivy League schools. They get to know what those great brains knocked around. And if they're doing it in those Ivy League schools, eventually they're going to start doing it in the high school. When a kid gets dinged up or gets screwed up and parents start suing the high school program saying you should have stopped this before it got to this point, it's going to get ugly and litigious. The football is really going to be in trouble.
Yeah, well, and it already is. Like on a national level, all the way down to the Pee Wee leagues. The kids are even playing flag football and getting ready to go into tackle once they get into middle school. The numbers are way, way down. Parents are getting scared, and yeah, it's just a reality. Again, I'm out here in Oregon. We've got a guy named Joe Donenberg, who's a big football star in my local hometown, that has been assigned as the president of figuring out new ways to tackle and what's allowed and what's not allowed. And so they're putting this stuff in, and they're doing their best guessing to figure out how to do it. But Joe's the first to tell you, he said, football happens so fast. How can you possibly dictate where your head goes as this guy's moving and you're moving and one of you's in the air, you don't even have your feet on the ground? How can you possibly know right where your body's going to go? And I think that's just a truthful answer. I appreciate when they just tell you truthfully. I mean, maybe everybody has to be told, like you said about smoking. Maybe they have to be told, guys, you're an eye age. We already know it. We don't have to be told. We're telling other people. We already know.
So what about like the fighting? I think like fighting is gonna benefit from this because it's not. Wrestling is not, associated with CTE as far as I know, and mixed martial arts, I think it's not necessarily a high school sport. So people that will be deterred from playing football and doing this will either go into baseball or basketball, or I think go into jiu-jitsu and all that stuff. I mean, it's like anyone under 20 is doing that. They're all fighting. It's a scary generation coming up.
That could be. I never thought of it like that, but yeah, I suppose you're right. And, I don't want to dismiss anything. Like, I don't want people getting hurt and having long-term problems for their life. It's just to the point of, the point that you need some kind of admittance, or they're doing all of these studies, it still just makes me scratch my head and go, wait, yeah, but, this stuff isn't good for you. There's very few things that are good for you. Even in diet change. The rules on diets change every